The world witnessed an unprecedented situation in 2020. The pandemic forced every major country into lockdown, disrupting major supply chains across the world, sending economies into standstill. And India was no different. The pandemic-led economic downturn has led India to rethink its overall economic strategy and is also seen as an opportunity. On 12th of May, Prime Minister Modi addressed the nation and unveiled his vision for an Atmanirbhar Bharat.
हमारे यहाँ शास्त्रों में कहा गया है, एषः पंथः, यानी यही रास्ता है आत्मनिर्भर भारत.
Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan or Self-Reliant India indeed makes one think that the initiative is permeated with the idea of self-reliance. And as the campaign was unveiled, many commentators focused on its title rather than its substance, with many quick to claim that India is on the way to become an economy walled off by protectionism. Many pointed out that Atmanirbhar should not be a means, a return to the era of license quota permit Raj. Now, a non-expert inferring this campaign as a protectionism may be given the benefit of doubt about not understanding it correctly. But when the so-called experts who are supposed to know and understand it better than others start casting aspersion on seemingly straightforward issues, it tends to cause some suspicion. Speaking at a webinar recently to a query on how he views Atmanirbhar project, Raghuram Rajan said, and I quote, "If it is about protectionism, unfortunately India has raised tariffs recently. It does not make any sense to my mind to go that way because we tried that before. We had a license permit Raj earlier. That protectionism was problematic. It enriched a few corporations but basically was a source of poverty for many of us." Observing that it is not yet clear to him what the government means by Atmanirbhar Bharat, he cautioned against import substitution under the campaign. Not the first time we heard this after the campaign was launched. Numerous expert pieces have tried to link Atmanirbhar with Nehruvian protectionism and criticized India's move of raising import tariffs. Now let's take a diversion here to understand what import substitution industrialization means. Import substitution is a development strategy adhered to by developing countries that wish to decrease their dependence on developed countries by promoting domestic production of previously imported goods. Now, the primary goal of the theory is to protect, strengthen, and grow local industries using a variety of tactics, including tariffs, import quotas, and subsidized government loans. India followed this strategy prior to 1991, on which basis the critics have argued measures like import substitution make consumers poorer in the long run by preventing them from enjoying the benefits of free trade. Also, given the restrictions imposed on foreign trade, it can lead to a bureaucratic corruption. Well, the critics are right, and their concerns around import substitutions are partially valid. But what they are not saying is that the announced Atmanirbhar Abhiyan is unrelated to the import substitution, let alone anything that has to do with India going back to Nehruvian protectionism. On the contrary, the most important element of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is that India will not cut off itself from the rest of the world, nor will it adopt anti-trade policies or protectionism. The campaign's core solutions have been various types of financial support aimed particularly to those citizens and companies that were deeply affected by financial distress, like guarantees of food and wages for many poor citizens, loan for MSMEs and agriculturists, credit facility for street vendors, free grain distribution for migrants, and helping companies stay afloat on the turbulent waves of liquidity. None of these can be considered protectionist. A lot of other decisions have also been taken, such as changing the definition of MSMEs, easing labor laws, boosting scope for private participation in numerous sectors like agriculture, space, coal, increasing FDI in the defense sector, which are on the contrary aimed at improving the ease of doing business. In fact, one thing the government realized is that in the post-pandemic globalized world, India will need to be open to trading with other countries, but without becoming dependent on them. And that forms the essence of Atmanirbhar Bharat. These experts, however, are quick to point out that there are other signs of this assumed protectionist attitude and refer to the plans of the government to raise tariffs on imports. Now, this measure by India has to be viewed by two different angles. First, to say that import substitution failed in the past, which is why it may fail again, could be an incorrect comparison. Primarily because the economic situation before the 1990s was fundamentally very different compared to the situation at present. The biggest reason why import substitution failed in India was due to the lack of domestic economic freedom before the 1991 reforms. India today continues to be very open for investments and is looking to increase its FDI, a move that shows our willingness to get further integrated in the global economic system. The country is looking for a great share of global trade than the share it has at present. In fact, in a joint study by Confederation of Indian Industry and Ernst & Young, India has emerged as one of the top 3 choices by MNCs for overseas investment. The second most important angle is India-China face-off. With the economy battered by pandemic and China becoming over-aggressive along the Indian borders, it is but natural that the government focuses primarily on helping the companies and citizens of its own country and at the same time try and have leverage over the Chinese to defuse the border situation. Experts bring into discussion India's November 2019 decision not to enter Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, the RCEP. But the chief concern in case of RCEP was that it would deepen India's trade imbalance with China, which is already of huge proportions, and an imbalance that most of the countries of the world are facing too. There is no doubt that China is not offering a level playing field when it comes to its trade with other countries. Thus, India's avoidance of RCEP does not signal that it is steering the country towards autarky. Even the recent contemplation by the government to introduce tariff as well as non-tariff hikes on Chinese imports should solely be considered as a strategic necessity stemming from the recent India-China standoff at the borders. Pretty simple, right? So then why would the experts who would know this much better than us link the word protectionism freely with the Atmanirbhar campaign? Well, we don't know the answer, but we came across an interesting analogy from an article in Op India. Suppose you decide to add more apples to your diet for health reasons. The next day, there are all these people warning you about the risk of not eating enough oranges. But you never said anything about oranges. Then why are these experts suddenly giving all these warnings? The answer is simple. Those experts don't care about your health. The warnings are not real warnings but ads. Those experts work for the guy who sells oranges. You are the judge. You decide.